Quilling stars are undoubtedly a charming decoration for the winter season. In this video, I guide you through the process of crafting these beautiful stars, exploring 6 different styles and techniques to add variety to your quilling crafts. I've prepared a template for you, which you will need to craft these stars. You can download the template for free from the link in the video description. I highly recommend using 3mm paper strips in 2 different weights. 300 GSM strips for the outline of the star, and 130 GSM strips for the inner details. Let's start with the first quilling star. I've crafted this one using the quilling beehive technique. We'll begin with the outlines of the star. To simplify the quilling process for you, I've drawn a line divided into 11 sections. This line represents the length of the paper strip needed to craft the outline. All you have to do is place a 300 GSM paper strip onto this line. Grab your embossing tool and trace along the sections from 1 to 11. Can you see all those marks on my paper strip? Cut off the excess after the last mark, and you'll have the correct length of the paper strip. The next steps are super easy. Fold the paper strip along the marked sections in a zigzag pattern. Ensure that the paper strip is aligned during this folding process, as it forms the base for the quilling star. After completing the zigzag folding, pinch the entire paper strip to ensure pointed edges for the star. Apply a small amount of glue to the end of the paper strip, and then attach both ends together. Here's the first outline of the quilling star. It was quite simple, wasn't it? Let's proceed with crafting the next outline of the star. The crafting process remains the same, with a slight difference this time. We'll be using the second line. I had to divide the line into 2 parts. After marking sections 1 to 5 on my strip, I simply moved the paper strip to the beginning of the line to continue with the next 6 marks. If your paper strips aren't long enough, you can easily glue 2 strips together to get the right length. Once I've marked the sections on my strip, the crafting process repeats. Now we have both outlines of the quilling star ready. For the next step, we need a corkboard. I am simply using the backside of my quilling template board. Place the star template on the board, and I recommend using a sheet of plastic to avoid accidentally gluing your quillings onto the template. I will remove my sheet of plastic for better video quality. Next, we need some pins. Just place 5 pins like I do on the star template for now. It should look like this. After that, we can easily lay the first outline of the quilling star onto the template. You can pull it as needed. And now, we need another 5 pins to secure the outlines onto the template. Repeat the same steps for the second outline of the star. Sometimes it can happen that the outlines aren't aligned on the template, like this area for example. You can easily fix this by adjusting the pins. Make sure that the outlines are aligned on the template. And keep in mind, you need to repeat these steps for each star in this video. Now it's time to start with the filling elements using the beehive technique. I'm using 130 GSM paper strips. Leave a bit of space before rolling the paper strip into a coil. Then start rolling it with your slotted quilling tool until the space is completely rolled. After that, remove your quilling tool, turn the paper strip, and leave the same space before rolling the strip again in the same direction as before. Roll the strip until you reach the first coil. Repeat these steps for the next coils, and continue until the whole paper strip is completely rolled. When you reach the end and the paper strip isn't long enough for another coil, just cut it off. This ensures that all those little beehives are the same size. At the end, form the beehives into a straight line by pushing them together. Now we can fill the star with our beehives. I measure the length of each beehive by comparing it with the star and cut off the excess. Then I apply glue all around the beehives. meaning applying glue to the entire coils, even between them. This makes the beehives more sturdy. Be careful, as this step can turn into a mess, and you might accidentally apply glue all over your fingers. To avoid this, I prefer holding my beehives with tweezers. After applying glue to the beehives, place them right between the outlines. Press the beehives onto the template for an even surface, avoiding touching them with your fingers. A tip for this process is to use a small amount of glue. Using too much glue can cause it to come out between the strips. I have to pay close attention to this, especially since I'm not using a sheet of plastic. When you reach the last part of the star, you can also use your leftovers to fill it. This is how your quilling star should look at the end. Remove the pins and you can hold the star in your hands. At this point, you will see if I used too much glue. Fortunately, I was lucky. The star was stuck in a tiny space on the template. Take a closer look at the beehives. You might find some that aren't connected to the outlines. Apply some glue and use your tweezers to fix them. So this is the first quilling star design. If you enjoyed the video so far, don't forget to like it. And now let me present you my second quilling star design. I crafted this one using tight coils of different sizes. And the best thing about it is that I used leftover strips from my previous quilling projects. I always save my leftover strips in a box when they are at least 5 cm long. You can also use leftover beehives from the previous star design. This star design doesn't require a specific paper length. My leftover strips are perfect for it. Just roll the strips into tight coils and make different sizes. I've already prepared the outlines of the star and placed it on the template. One thing I don't like about tight coils is the center hole, especially the beginning of the paper strip inside of it, which is caused by the slotted quilling tool. However, you can hide the strip when you insert your tweezers in it and roll the coil. This will definitely take the tight coils to the next level. Apply glue around it and place it somewhere between the outlines, ensuring it is connected to at least one outline. Then fill up the whole space with various sizes and colors. For this star, I decided to use shades of yellow. When you're done, check your quilling for small gaps, like the ones on my star. It will look much better when you fill all those gaps with tiny coils as well. Since we're working with tight coils, we should give them a smooth surface by rolling the handle of our slotted quilling tool over them. This will flatten the surface of all coils for a much better look. Let's proceed with the blue quilling star. I crafted it using teardrop and diamond shapes, using only half a strip for each shape. I roll my paper strip with my slotted quilling tool into a coil and let it open up on my template board on a circle of 10 mm size. By the way, you need to prepare all these shapes before attaching the outlines on the back side of the template board, or you have to use another one. Seal the end of the paper strip, pull the center to one direction, and pinch the other side to form a teardrop shape. Then pinch the whole shape to create a thin teardrop. This shape will be on the pointed ends of the star. Make another coil of 10 mm size and form it into a diamond shape by pinching both sides of the coil. Pay attention to the center, it should stay in the middle, and don't pinch it accidentally. I've prepared 10 diamond shapes of white strips, 10 more of a light blue shade, another 10 of a dark blue shade, and 5 teardrop shapes. The outlines are ready for the quilling process. I will start with the teardrop shapes. Apply glue all around the shape and place it on the pointed ends of the outline. The teardrop isn't big enough to fill the whole space between the outlines. Then go on with the diamond shapes from the darkest shade to the lightest shade. Here's a little tip. Always start with a teardrop shape, and you can arrange the diamond shapes between them easily. I crafted the next quilling star with diamond shapes as well, but this time I formed them from ring coils. I used 3 different shades of purple and crafted each diamond shape with the full strip. Before rolling the strip on the border body tool, I curl the beginning of the paper strip for an easy quilling process. Then I apply just a tiny bit of glue, so it can unwrap when I remove it from the tool. I use the first ring size of my border body tool to craft the ring coils. Just wrap the paper all around the tool, making sure that the edges are aligned. Wrap the strip very tightly for better results. Next, remove it from the tool, seal it with some glue, pinch it totally on both sides, and open it up just a little bit to achieve the diamond shape. You need 25 of these shapes divided into 3 colors, 10, another 10, and 5 pieces. Begin with a light purple shade and place it right on the pointed end of the star. This time the diamond shape fits perfectly into the gap between the outlines. And then fill up the whole star, proceeding with the next darker shade. I don't know why, but I'm so into these diamond shapes in every project. They make everything so elegant. Do you also have a favorite shape like me? Let me know it in the comments. Another variant of using ring coils for crafting a quilling star is this one. I filled the gap between the outlines with tiny ring coils in 2 different shades of green, using half a strip for each ring. Since we need tiny ring coils, I made them on a tight coil instead of the border body tool. Before we can craft the ring coils, we have to make a tight coil by rolling a quarter strip. Seal the surface of the coil and let it dry, so it can't fall off when removing the ring coil from it. The next steps are the same as the previous quilling star. Just craft some ring coils with this tight coil. By the way, you can use this trick for any ring sizes if you don't have a border body quilling tool. At the end, push the tight coil out of the ring coil and your ring coil is complete. Now you can fill the gap between the outlines of the star with those ring coils. I needed a total of 30 ring coils. The last quilling star in this video is made with diamond and teardrop shapes. I used 3 different shades of pink and half a strip for each shape. I made the teardrop shape with a circle of 10mm size on my template board, and the diamond shapes with a circle of 12mm size. You need 5 diamond shapes and 30 teardrop shapes to craft this star. I place the diamond shapes on the pointed ends of the star and fill up the gap between the outlines with the teardrop shapes. Actually, I intended to share this video with you last year, but it wasn't finished in time. Nevertheless, I had a lot of fun making these quilling stars. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, you can do it right now for more detailed tutorials like this. I also recommend watching my quilling snowflakes video right here, if you want to learn how to craft endless snowflake designs with just one quilling technique. Thank you all for watching and happy quilling!